What's up guys, this is Coach Donny with ElevateYourself.org. Welcome to my volleyball coach reaction to Season 1, Episode 20. If you're new to this channel, I'm a volleyball coach, volleyball player, and personal trainer that provides volleyball tutorials, jump training videos, and other cool volleyball content, which you can find linked below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for more content. If you've been enjoying my videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon, where you'll receive access to exclusive content like my monthly live Q&A sessions, podcasts, my private blog, behind the scenes footage, and more. Also, the first 200 members to sign up will automatically be entered to win a free Elevate Athletic Tee 2.0, so make sure you sign up today with the link below. I'm still blown away at how many small details there are in Haikyu and how many I probably missed. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more serving variations in future episodes. Thanks for clarifying the flashback that Kageyama had of Oikawa. I forget that Kageyama is only a first year, so it's cool to see Kageyama already challenging Oikawa, who is an upperclassman, which is probably why he got so irritated when Kageyama dumped it right back in his face. I don't think it's a coincidence that Tanaka and me are the same height and have the same volleyball personality of being very aggressive with our offense, talks a little trash, and stands up for his teammates. Now I know we're the same height, I like him even more now. Thanks for letting me know about the priority of subtitles. I could easily rewind and just rewatch some of the scenes, but I try not to do that because it does mess up the flow of my reaction. Kageyama's dump also gave me chills. It's definitely one of the most badass moments so far, and now that I know he's doing it against someone who's 2 years older than him, that makes it even more badass. Watching a dump hit the ground is torture because it happens so slowly and you can't do anything about it. If you guys want me to watch the OVAs, let me know in the comments and also where to find those videos. The online bodyweight jump camp starts in just 3 days on January 6, 2021. It's a 4-week jump training camp that includes bodyweight only exercises so you can train right at the comfort of your home. I will personally be training you through Zoom each week, so make sure you sign up with the link in the description box. I can't wait to see how this Kageyama versus Oikawa battle turns out. So let's get this Haikyu party started. With some intense music. Alright, another flashback. I think that's K-pop. Oh, little Kageyama shagging the balls like a underclassman. So he does look up to K-pop. And that's his goal, someone to beat. Oh yeah, that's the badass moment right there. That's right. Doesn't matter what your age is. If you think you're better, that's all that matters is your mentality. Love those straight punches. For those of you who don't know volleyball rules, when Kageyama said, "I'm going to do it again," Hinata interpreted him literally like, "I'm going to dump again." But in volleyball, if you are in the back row, you cannot attack the ball above the plane of the net. So what Hinata's saying is, if he tries to dump again but he's in the back row, that's an illegal move. And of course, Kageyama's just speaking metaphorically like, I'm going to beat him again, but not necessarily in the next point. That was just a funny scene. By the way, if someone could remind me in the comments when they're going to change the intro and outro next, I would love to watch the new ones after that. Ooh, getting ready for his jump serve, that 3-step approach. Oh, maybe try to hit it too hard and try to prove himself. Oh, K-pop knows how to get under his skin. Oh, here we go. Now he's gonna say, "Oh, yep, this is how it's done." 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Ooh, he's challenging the best passer. Oh, looks like he's got a little side spin. Ooh, way to break his platform out. That's awesome. Let's go back and rewatch that technique. The funny thing is, if you zoom in really close, Nishinoya actually has his tongue sticking out like that, like he's licking his lips and can't wait to eat up and gobble up this serve. That's a really funny detail. So Nishinoya, like a well-trained libero, is trying to get his body behind the ball so he can pass it directly in front of him. So you see how it's lined up perfectly down the center of his body. But if you play this clip in slow motion, you will actually see that the ball has a little bit of side spin, like an angular spin that's spinning downward but slightly to the right. So it's going to cut from left to right. So Nishinoya is trying to get centered behind the ball, but at the last second he sees the ball curving. So that's why you see Nishinoya form his platform out to the side to still get his platform behind the ball to pass it forward. This is why it's really important to do your best to get completely behind the ball as best as you can so that you can make those last minute adjustments. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to get to the ball first with their arms instead of their feet, and so when they actually are already reaching off center and the ball curves away from them, it's going to be out of their reach. So get your feet behind the ball first and then you can adjust on both sides. Ooh, see how he's taking it off center and pulling his platform back to absorb some of the force. Oh, a little smirk there. His fan club is disappointed. Oh, there we go. Oh, picked him out. I think the reason why the Seijo blocker cheated to the left because Kageyama might have been trying to fake him out by looking behind him to trick the opposing blocker that he's going to set behind him, and then ends up setting in front to Hinata. That's right. Oh, maybe he took a play from Nekoma's book. Well, at least K-pop is acknowledging the skill. He's probably trying to prove a point. Then that would demoralize the team, yeah, if Nishinoya couldn't pass, their best passer couldn't pass his serve. But then it backfired on him. Some good encouraging words from K-pop. Oh, here's a dirty trick. Slowing down the game by untying his shoe. I hate it when people do that. Oh, that's right. I think this was the middle blocker that also played with Kageyama and had that bad experience with him. That was a weird way to encourage your team. 5-finger poke. Senta! A-quick is the quick hit in front. Oh, he's committing. Oh, but he hit right over Hinata. That's where height does work against you. I wonder why that would be. Maybe they trained a little harder since then. Ooh, that was a bad pass by Daichi. That's rare. And Hinata's demanding the ball again. Used it as a fake. That's a great setup by Kageyama. Maybe K-pop is enjoying this competition. And he's probably going to discuss what he thinks Kageyama's going to do. Maybe he just learned something. Let me see if I can guess what K-pop observed about Kageyama. he sets Hinata first to get the attention of the blockers, and then immediately sets somebody else and uses Hinata for the draw right after that play. So maybe he's going to tell his team to watch out for that pattern. Right after he sets Hinata, he's going to set somebody else. Let's see if that's what he observed. Ooh, bring it into, oh, code words. Oh, man. K-pop's smart. Bring it, okay. To me. Okay, one person to commit to Hinata. And then when it hears to me, let's wait to see where Kageyama says to block somebody else other than Hinata. That's okay if they know what you're doing. Then you're throwing their team strategy off. Oh, let's see if Kageyama will panic. To decide to try a yogurt drink. That's a really interesting detail. Here's an interesting detail about K-pop's development of his jump serve. Notice that Nishinoya said even though it was a very hard jump serve, he missed a lot in junior high, and now he's able to hit it in. I don't think that's a coincidence. One thing I've learned as a coach is always try to hit hard first before you learn how to hit it in. A lot of people try to first learn how to hit it in and then hit it hard. And the reality is the mechanics for both movements are very different. Also, it's much easier to teach somebody how to control their aggression than it is to be aggressive. So I'm not saying always try to hit hard mindlessly, but don't be afraid to hit hard. And the best way to learn how to control a hard serve is to serve hard more often. Yeah, they must have other good players. You don't get that good just by having one good player. Gotta have other people that balance you out. Keep him up, Tanaka. Curious where they're gonna aim. Ooh, the serious music is on now. Asahi, oh, maybe Asahi is just a good hitter but not a strong receiver. Uh-oh, this is gonna get in his head. Oh. When Kageyama's releasing, he's probably blocking his view. That's a smart strategy. This is what we call stacking the rotation and serve receive. You have to get in these weird formations so that people can start off in their normal positions. But this doesn't happen that often. Usually the set of releasing is plenty enough time for the passer to see the ball. Ooh, that was a quick back set. Thank you, old guy. He's trying to be cool in the high school scene again. We'll see if K-pop decides to dump. Ooh, Kageyama is stressed. Yeah, it's a lot of stress having to be a setter and make a lot of decisions in a short period of time. Dump it. Oh, they read it. Oh. Oh, he's so good at talking trash. Come on, Tanaka. Ooh, over the 3-man block. That's something I cannot do. I don't jump high enough for that. Oh, does this mean bring it to me? Oh, that means set me. Ooh, got lucky. It's still a point. But at least Seijo was able to read it. Or is this Seijo or Josai? One of those names. Come on, Kageyama, hit it in. Yeah, that's the adjustment you gotta make. This is actually a great adjustment to a bad toss. And this actually happens in real games. This happened to myself even. As a jump server, you want to toss it high and in front to force yourself to broad jump forward in front of the baseline, which will help you get more power because you're jumping into the ball, but also it shortens the distance between where you're contacting the ball and the receiver, which means the receiver will have even less time to react to it. But the risk is that you might toss it too far forward, and lesser players will just continue to try to hit it hard and force it over the net when the toss is too low and in front of them. But experienced servers like Kageyama will adjust at the last second and get under the ball and just try to keep it in play even though it becomes an easier serve. So that's a great adjustment by Kageyama. Although it ends up being a tough serve on accident, which is usually not what happens. Usually it ends up being a really easy serve. Oh, why did Kageyama pass the first ball? Ooh. Okay, so what K-pop probably did was he probably set a free ball short to force Kageyama to pass it. That's a smart play. Ooh, now he knows not to serve at Nishinoya. And it's probably going to aim at Asahi, one of the weaker passers. Such a good serve. Come on, Tanaka. Hit it with your head. There's the team manager again. She going to hit it? Yep. She gets it again. Oh, spin the shirt. Yes. Never gets old. Ooh, too powerful for Tanaka. Yeah. I love this deeper thought process by K-pop. Break him down with a good serve. Yeah, maybe Coach Ukai is trying to get them settled. That's a good game plan. This is exactly what I would do as a coach, is if we lose a few points from a really tough serve and we're getting ace, so the ball is just shanking to the side, sometimes the best thing you do is just focus on getting behind it and just pass it high, so at least Kageyama can get to it and give a good set. And this is not admitting defeat to the server. This is just adapting to the situation and being honest with where your passing ability is at. So sometimes aiming for a perfect pass is not always the best thing to do. So let's see how this adaptation turns out for Karasuno. And Kageyama can still set it quick off the net to Hinata. Maybe he's gonna fake the dump and then set a hitter. It's a good reminder. Don't just focus on one person. Focus on the team. Don't get overwhelmed and give someone too much credit. Let's see who passes it here. Get behind it and pop it up. That's the game plan. Oh. Yep. And Hinata's committing to a block. Oh. Okay. Overpass is still better than getting ace. That's the first step. Focus on the next point. Just try to get it up again. Just try to be better every play. There you go. Oh, had to go up against a triple block. Let's see what the next adjustment is. Maybe they should set Asahi. Just throw it high to Asahi and let him overpower the opponent. Yeah. That's exactly it. You just feel the weight of the team on you. You need a teammate to pick him up. Yeah, Tanaka's always the one uplifting people, and now he's the one that needs to be uplifted. Maybe that's enough to refocus him. He's admitting his spirit and his intent. Very good self-awareness. This is one thing that Tanaka has a lot of self-awareness of. He realizes that his body language is starting to bring the team down, and that's what he's apologizing for, not necessarily the individual volleyball skill mistakes. And that's so true in a volleyball team. When someone starts to make a mistake, all it takes is one person to bring the team down. You know, slumped shoulders, kind of mopey attitude, not talking anymore. And that is the absolute worst in volleyball, because usually those type of people are really hard to bring back up to a positive level. And sometimes it takes the entire team of encouraging that person. So it's really great that Tanaka was able to snap out of it and realize that he was bringing the team down with his body language. That's a good comeback by Coach Ukai. Yep, get your legs as close to the ball as possible. That I'm very fine with that. If a player is in the zone and they need to stay in the zone, I think it's fine with that if that person wants to be a part in the timeouts. But now Karsuno is even more focused on getting the feet behind the ball. I think they just replay the same serving approach animation. That's cheating. Oh! It curved at the last second. Someone's gonna save it. Nishinoya! Oh, Hinata. Oh, great hustle. Ooh, this is the glorious moment. There you go, Nishinoya. He's demanding the ball, and he said he's going to call for it. That's right. Come on, Tanaka. He doesn't back down. It's that shaved head. Oh, hitting line. That's my favorite hit. There you go. Now we're going to analyze Tanaka's hitting form. I don't think I've really talked about his hitting form at all this entire season, so this is really a great treat for me because he's one of my favorite characters. And another similarity between Tanaka and me, he's hitting line right now, even against a triple block, and that is my favorite shot to hit. Notice that he's first opening up toward the setter to not only load his body for power, but also to sell the angle. I always teach my hitters, you always need to pretend like you're hitting angle even though you're going to be turning down the line. So he's opening up his body and facing the setter. And by the way, this is only for right-handed hitters on the left side. And now he sees that line is open with the block and on the court. And he's beginning to rotate. And now he's contacting the ball on the top right corner and then going to rotate across his body. And notice that his body is fully rotated facing the net and his arm is finishing across his body to make sure he's hitting around the block and pointing down the line. Great hitting form. They got two aces now, Asahi and Tanaka. Come on, take that jersey off. That's K-pop's way of saying he's impressed. Yeah, sometimes things just feel like they are happening in slow motion when you are that aware. But that, just like you gotta move on from mistakes, you gotta move on from successes, because you still got a game to play. Let's see if Karasuno can chip back into the game. Ooh, that's a good soft block by Hinata. Uh-oh, he said bring it. Ooh! But he was able to hit off the block. This is a very interesting exchange. Oh. Oh, okay. It's interesting that K-pop has said this is where Kin Daichi always scored the best. I'm assuming he's referring to his teammate. This is another great quality of a good setter, is knowing where your hitters like to score and where they like the ball. If you know your hitter likes to hit it down the line, then you got to make sure, if you're a setter, to push it all the way to the antenna to give him that option, because if the set dies inside and doesn't get pushed out all the way, there's just no way he can hit line, and if he does, it's going to get turned low and into the block. If your hitter likes to hit angle, then you want to lead him inside a little bit, so don't push it out all the way. Let it die inside just a little bit so it's already easier for him to reach away from his body to hit that angle. 16-9. Still not a close game, but a lot of game left. Ooh. That was a quick set to Asahi. Yeah, so many subtitles to read. I'm curious what he thinks of him at junior high level. Yeah, sometimes you do try to win the game single-handedly, and K-pop is able to see this because he probably tried to do that himself. Ooh, another secret plan. Suga, I love how involved Suga is in the game, even though he's not playing. Can they get any faster? Yeah, they might be trying to force the situation. The faster you set, the harder it is to time, so we'll see how long they can maintain this. You force your hitters into certain situations, or getting too tense. This is what setters tend to do. There's that mutual respect from K-pop. Yeah. Very observant. We talked about this before. Setters have to know each hitter's tendencies and preferences. Did they just change the ball there? They just changed the ball mid-animation. It went from a Molten Fleece attack to a Mikasa MVA 200. Either this is an animation mistake or this is some bonus footage that I don't know about. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. It's okay, don't try to win it by yourself. Oh, joust between the two setters. Now you gotta wipe it off. Don't try. Oh. In his face. Ooh, the stare down. This has gotta be demoralizing. But this is gonna motivate Kageyama even more. Making it personal. Maybe they gotta put Suga in, sub him out to give Kageyama some time to breathe and to refocus. Yeah, he's getting more and more flustered.
Oikawaはセンスもある。努力も惜しまない。ただ、2つ年下の影山という才能の塊と比べたとき、及川は優等ではあるが天才ではない。それでも断言できる。今の段階でセッターとして優れているのは及川であると。
That's just that. I think that just comes with experience. The calmness that K-pop is able to have and not get flustered in moments like this really shows the maturity difference between. There we go. I knew Suga needed to come in. That's a good coaching move. Here's my reaction to episode 20. This episode was action-packed and so much back and forth between the two teams and lots of great insights between all the strategies that go on between the setters, the teams, and the coaches. What's mind-blowing is how much the author understands so much about each position. This is more than just knowing how to set or how to spike or how to block. These are the inner game details for each position, and you really have to play that position to know what that position thinks. Even when coaches call timeouts and what they talk about in the timeouts are very realistic. These are not just randomly made up scenes, these are actually what real volleyball teams would do and discuss. I'm definitely respecting K-pop as a setter more and more because his ability to adapt to his opponent that quickly within a single game is pretty impressive. And I'm going to say this again, the team to make the last adjustment will win the game. In order to make the last adjustment, you have to recognize patterns very quickly, and that's what K-pop does. One thing I realized is that Kageyama has not had a breaking moment since his junior high days. Hinata already had his breaking moment where he cracked under pressure and was able to eventually grow from that experience and rise above it. So I'm assuming that this is Kageyama's moment to really break down and be pushed to his limit, feel like he failed, rebuild himself, and then rise above that as well. And that's a journey that we should all embrace, whether we're playing volleyball or pursuing some challenge in life. A lot of times we avoid pain or difficult experiences, or we try to avoid failure, when in reality, failure is absolutely necessary for success. And the only way you can achieve the type of failure that leads to success is by pushing yourself to the limit where you're willing to take more risks, but also allow yourself to be exposed in high pressure situations. And to know that Kageyama got subbed out is only going to drive that nail even deeper, which is going to lay the groundwork for even greater growth. I'm excited to see how Suga is going to respond to the situation, because he's been waiting patiently on the sideline, supporting his team, working on his skills, and just waiting for his opportunity. And I really hope that Suga shines with this chance to really prove himself as a quality setter for Karasuno. This reminds me of the moment of where I talked about how Kageyama and Suga are not necessarily a hierarchy, but just two setters that provide two different skill sets and strengths. Kageyama is going to be more of a creative, athletic, and fast setter, and Suga is just going to work hard for his team and give everyone a very hittable ball. So it might be a higher, slower set, but every hitter can hit to their maximum reach and maximum power, which is probably what Tanaka and especially Asahi need. They need just a good hittable ball so they can use their athleticism to overpower the opponent. Also, there's just no substitute for experience and maturity, which is probably what Suga is going to bring. So I'm super excited to see Suga finally get to play in-game. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell so you never miss a video. Don't forget to sign up for my Patreon linked below, and I hope everyone's 2021 New Year is off to a great start. And that start is completely up to you. We'll see you guys in the next video.